Good. All right.
All right, let me know when to hit play.
Hit it.
Yeah, focus. Live.
So loud.
All right.
That was fast.
I
know, it was like...
Well, I noticed when I go to share it, when I pop up our live feed, the song comes back on again.
Oh yeah.
That was so.
Yeah, you get that endless feedback loop.
That was the Polish in me, I guess.
Yeah.
Degree 45. Here we are, once again. I'm going to go ahead and just share this video for us here.
Do some quick shares, and then we're gonna get into stuff and let people get in here. Is that from the video? From the stream?
No. I was trying to share it without opening the. There we go. Share. Copy. Go ahead and do a couple shares. I'm gonna get it to that guy to carpet bomb us, or whatever that means.
You don't know what carpet bombing is?
I think it might be good. Hold on a second.
Get in here, guys. Come on in.
Come on in. Share to my page. Ooh. I was tagged and so go ahead.
Alright, I'm good. We're shared up.
Click load post. May have expired. Fuck you. Okay. All right. So, degree 45. Here we are. What's going on?
Welcome back. Episode 11. 11 huge episodes under, well, 10 episodes under our belt right now. I had a long weekend. What did you guys do?
What did I do? Let's see. I just got back from church for 6 to 7, and they did a hot August night. I'm sure you remember, Jeremy, when we saw the cars out here, the classic cars. Now it's actually hot August night.
Yeah, the real one.
So it's the real one now. Let's see. Did a little curtain shopping. Went to Bed Bath & Beyond. A little, looked for some new curtains and stuff. What did you guys do?
I'm spending the weekend with my family because I just moved out of my apartment, so I'm in transition mode. I'm moving to Spain, as some of the viewers know, as both of you know, in the middle of September. I intend to keep the show, or to stay on the show during that time. Whatever we work out. But for now, I am bunked up at my parents' casa. So that's why I'm in a bed, because I have nowhere else to be right now. Not allowed to be too
Is this going to work out as a long-distance relationship?
Oh, we're going to definitely have a long-distance relationship, Jeremy.
Where is the time difference between Western... What's the time, to make it easy, where you're at now in Spain? What's the time difference? What time is it in Spain right now?
6 hours ahead of me, I believe.
6 hours?
6 hours ahead of me. I'm at 11.
So, okay, so you're going to go live at 5 a.m. with us? Let's say 4:45.
We might have to pre-record it.
A.m.
I wouldn't.
No.
Well, it's degree 45. Maybe we'll change it to like
I don't know, just like
maybe 8:45 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
I'm definitely not like abandoning ship. No way I'm going to go to Spain if I can. you guys.
How long are you going to be in Spain for?
Through the middle of December.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
That's
And
college, so.
Anything exciting with you, Jeremy, this weekend?
Exciting, yeah. Well, a lot of exciting and a lot of not exciting. I drove for about 20 hours total between Thursday, Friday, and today. Well, between Thursday and now, here and back to Portland, and then to Berkeley. Yesterday was the Portland Patriot Prayer Proud Boys rally, march for Joey Gibson's Senate race, and today was the No to Marxism 2, hosted by transgender activist and Amber Gwen Cummings, and yeah, a lot of fun stuff between those two events. I got like probably I don't know, I'd have to guess at least like 10 hours of footage or something like that, and then maybe not that much, but I got a lot of footage that I got to go through over the next couple days. If you guys haven't seen, if you want to see live perspective, I live streamed both events for 2 hours each until my battery ran out. You can see what I saw, be on the ground there and see, and experience everything that I did. I guess to sum it up, Antifa had 2 big losses this weekend. So the big ongoing thing in Portland, anyway, I'm gonna just go into some details about this because I'm assuming that we want to hear about it, right?
Absolutely.
So Antifa had a huge counter protest in Portland for the fascist, quote unquote, Patriot Prayer and the Proud Boys. Now they're not actually fascist, they're not actually racist, they're not bigots, they're not white supremacists, but they created this kind of narrative for themselves, and that's what drew out this huge response, right? So I'd say they were outnumbered like 3 or 4 to 1, but at a certain point in the rally, and you'll see this in the footage, they refused to comply with police orders to get off the crosswalk in the street. So the way the rally was set up is there's one street going down the river, and on the river side was the Patriot Prayer, and on the other side was the the counter protesters. They're separated by police, and there was no cross flow between them. So I couldn't go over there. Nobody could come over on this side. They refused to disperse, and then tear gas started getting launched at them. We heard all these explosions, like flashbangs and stuff going off, like boom, boom, boom. We saw, and then immediately after that, there was like sleepers in the Patriot Prayer group that had, I don't know how they snuck them in. I didn't see them until the last second. They had buckets full of water balloons. I'm not sure if they were filled with piss. I didn't get close enough to tell. I didn't get it on me. I think they're filled with piss or some kind of chemicals. And he started trying to throw water balloons at the Patriot Prayer at the same time that the flashbangs started to go off. But
some random sleeper guy, some random guy on that side.
Yep, just a random Antifa on the Patriot Prayer side. He immediately got tackled, or not tackled. He got like bear hugged by this giant Patriot Prayer guy. He just grabbed him and like bear hugged him until the cops, who were like 10 feet away, ran over and tackled him to the ground. They knocked over this guy that had like a probably $5,000 camera, and then they confiscated the buckets. The police then proceeded to chase. You can see other people's footage of this. I wasn't on that side when this happened, but you can see police chasing the Antifa group up into the city, like several blocks. They were launching tear gas at them and flashbangs the entire time. So this whole line of riot gear police chasing people, launching tear gas. All you hear is these echoes of boom, 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 going out throughout the whole city. It was like a war zone. It sounded like a war zone. It was intense. All this gas everywhere.
How long into the event did this take place? How long into the event was this?
This was probably about 1 o'clock. So the event officially started at noon, according to the Patriot Prayer guys. Once I go through the footage, I'll have a good timestamp on it. I'll know exactly when it happened. But it was a lot of it was a lot of escalation going back and forth. Both groups had like reinforcements come at certain points. So they started out a lot smaller than they actually were, and then they had these huge reinforcement groups come. And then at that point is when it started to kind of escalate. The groups tried to move up and down the street. I don't know why exactly. Maybe to try and get away from the police. At one point, some people did try to come across from the Antifa side and try to taunt the Patriot Prayer guys, but they quickly got sent back to their side by the police. But the moral of the story is Antifa got blown out by the police. Patriot Prayer was then allowed to finish out their rally in peace. At one point, they did try to march into the city, the Patriot Prayer guys, but they got sent back because they were outside of their permitted area. And the police were issuing the same warnings they issued to Antifa. They said, disperse. This is now a public disturbance. If you don't disperse, we're going to use our weapons on you. But we made it back to the park before they used those. So that was Portland. That was fun.
Did you see anybody get seriously injured or anybody get put into an ambulance or anything like that? Because I saw some footage where some guy, I guess he got hit in the head with something or put a bandage on his head. I don't know what team he played for, if any.
Yeah.
But
I did. You'll see some footage when I come up with my actual video that it's on the live stream too. Some guy is on the Patriot Prayer side with a bloody head. He got, like, apparently from what I was told, he got hit in the head with a rock from the Antifa. Now, the other reason that the police started launching the tear gas and the grenades and everything, and you hear this in the video, they have this crazy, the LRAD speaker system, like the weaponized audio. It's like a super loud speaker. It's supposed to disorient you. They're blasting this over the speaker, saying that weapons have been spotted in the Antifa crowd, and you've been ordered to disperse. So they saw weapons over there. They had weapons being thrown, bottles and rocks being thrown at the police as well. But other than that, I didn't capture any violence on camera that I could think of. There were some Antifa that tried to martyr themselves, like tried to run across the street. One chick tried to run across the street, got caught by the cops, dragged back on the concrete back to the other side, and then she just kind of like laid there. She was laying there like, oh, I'm such a victim. All right, now arrest me.
Victim.
She's trying to be like that romantic, martyr victim type thing, and the police were, it was hilarious. They were trying to like pick her up for a minute, and then they're just like, screw it, and then they just walked away. She got up. She was so mad. She like lifted up her shirt and flashed all the Patriot Prayer, because apparently that's like an offensive thing now, and she was just yelling at us and everything. That was funny.
Disgusting too.
Yeah, no, it was. I wish I could unsee that. But there was one instance also of apparently somebody on the Antifa side. They had I don't know if it was like a concussion grenade or what, some kind of cartridge or a projectile lodged in the helmet. And you can see pictures of this online if you look at the Antifa pages. There's a bike, not a bike helmet, but just a helmet. There's a cartridge lodged in the helmet. It went through, and you can see some blood in there. They said, and now I don't know if this is founded, but the police launched this at the guy at like almost point blank range, right at his head. And if he wasn't wearing a helmet, he probably would have been killed. So, but the police, they had a much better control over the situation than they did at the last one. So yeah, there was a lot less violence. There was no straight head-on Patriot Prayer versus Antifa clashes at any point. Just kind of small scuffles between the police and either side. So.
And I always thought it made sense for Antifa to wear helmets. And no offense to some of the guys on the right, but I guess anyone wearing a helmet with some of the mentality you see of some of the people out there. So did any? I don't know. I know Infowars was there. There was another guy because I watched your stream. Tim Pool, I think is his name. I'm not too familiar with him, but I guess he's a pretty big name. Was everyone pretty cordial though for the most? Was this different than anything we've already seen at these events, or was it the same old shit, but maybe a little more aggressive, or the police were a little actually did their jobs? Like, what did you see anything different, or was it just the same old?
As far as policing goes, I would say it was no different than Ben Shapiro in Berkeley a year ago. It was a lot of police that were coordinated. They weren't very aggressive though. For the most part, they were just blocking the road, and then they issued these commands to disperse. They issued these commands to get off the road, or get off the crosswalk. They literally told Antifa over the speaker system like 20 times to move, and they didn't move. So they had plenty of warning. But as far as the actual rally goes, this is Patriot Prayer and Proud Boys, and there was a lot of Proud Boys there. And one thing that I didn't realize is that they kind of run their operation like a military thing. They're giving issues, commands, and like they're moving around in squads. They have like flak jackets and stuff on. They're doing all this stuff. They have pepper spray. They've got all this shields and armor and stuff on. It's like you feel like you're embedded in a military unit almost, the way that they operate. It's very interesting.
Yeah, to me it's kind of funny because everyone's. I was talking to a buddy of mine out here. He said he wants to go to one of these things with me, and he said, yeah, everyone's dressed up like a fucking superhero, or like they're in the movie 300 and shit. You know, they have
Right.
shields,
Cosplaying.
Batman fucking costumes on, and it looks like a big political, like if politics hit Comic-Con. That's
Right.
pretty much what these protests kind of look like sometimes. So, but for the most part, nothing out of the ordinary, really.
No, not particularly. Same stuff, just on a bigger scale. I would say, you know, the same messages, same rhetoric, same narratives. It's all the same.
Now, Harold made a comment here saying they were at Berkeley today. You were also at Berkeley today after Portland, correct? For a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
what
drove
was
back
that?
to make it to
What was,
Berkeley. So Berkeley,
what was Berkeley like?
Berkeley was a pretty different situation. Berkeley, there were the ratio of rally people to counter protesters was very out of proportion. So I'd say like 20 to 1 outnumbered. The rally people were, you know, Amber Cummings and them, the pro-Trump guys, I guess you could say, they were outnumbered.
So the pro-Trump was outnumbered.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Tranny Annie or Base Tranny or whatever the fuck its name is down there. Was it the typical people that you see on the right there? I know Linda just said she heard Will Johnson got hurt. Haven't seen any update if this is true. Can't get to his page. I don't know if Will Johnson got hurt. Did you hear anything down there about him getting hurt in Berkeley?
No, I mean during the time I was there, he hadn't gotten hurt, and he didn't look injured or anything. I tried to talk to him a few times, but he was kind of talking to some other people.
Outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Up until the time I left,
he's all right.
okay.
He didn't get hurt or anybody got hurt down there over all the stupid shit down there. But yeah, Tranny Annie, thanks to Tara. Yeah. So what did you? So being that the right, I guess you would call it, just to make it easy for the audience, the right and the left. So the right was outnumbered by the left down there.
Massively. Yeah.
Massively. Was there any violence that you saw aside from what I'm hearing about Will here? Yeah, he did. He got hit once today. Somebody said. What did you see as far as that?
There was quite a few small scuffles between like smaller groups of people, you know, like those shouting matches that kind of escalate into shoving kind of thing. There's a lot of those, but as far as large scale violence, no, there wasn't a lot. There was a lot of police there though. For the
More than Portland?
No, not more than Portland, because Portland was a much larger scale event, but there was at least, I would say, 60 to 80 police there at least. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing about the Berkeley thing. So Berkeley, they had their event at Martin Luther King Park. This was, just a small park in the middle of the city. There was probably 100 to 200 counter protesters there during the main event. But at the same time, and this is shortly after I arrived, I saw a march start to come in from one of the adjacent streets. And the police had lined up there to try and prevent them from coming in. But that march had another 150 people in it, like counter protesters. Right. So total, you're looking at like 30 to 40 rally participants, 30 to 40 people on the right versus 200 to 300 minimum counter protesters. But the
was it all Antifa? Was by any means necessary? Which is all to me. I lump them all together. But was there any? Was everyone? What about masks? I heard they couldn't wear masks. In Berkeley, was Antifa still wearing their little black bandanas over their mouths?
A couple tried to. Yeah, a few of them tried to, but the police made them remove them. The Berkeley City Council or something passed an ordinance. I don't know if it was last week or the weekend before. That said you can't wear masks, and also no weapons. Now
I've seen them get citations for wearing masks down there before.
Yeah, I got.
It's just.
Now to your other question, like who was all there? I got a funny text because I'm signed up for all these information sources so I can figure out what's going on. I'm signed up for this like Bay Area Resistance texting list. So I got a text at 2:00 saying, join Racial Justice Alliance, Bay Area Resistance, Surge. I don't know what that is. An organization called SURJ. JVP, I don't know what that is either, DSA, which is the Democratic Socialists of America, and meet now at the park, Unite Against White Supremacists. So those are the groups that were showing up there. But yeah, Antifa is basically this coagulation of all these different groups put together.
Here's a thing on Twitter too. Politic Bros, I think they're called. Alt-left Antifa and alt-left Black Lives Matter members started throwing items at a large group of peaceful Trump supporters. After being provoked by these alt-left people, Trump supporters charged and all hell broke loose. That's on August 5th, so that's today. I guess there might have been a little scuffle down there. You might have missed it. I did see a video. This guy that was that very fake news guy you were telling me about.
Yeah.
I guess so. He was doing a video in Berkeley, and he was with someone else. I guess he's behind the camera. He's not in front of the camera. There was some guy on his thing, and he was trying to talk to some Antifa, and they were linked arms, and they wouldn't let him pass on the streets. And I don't know. They were just like, I was watching it, and they just looked like little pricks.
Well, a funny story. As soon as I showed up, I didn't even get on the grass to the park. I was on the sidewalk, and I saw like the social justice Power Rangers coming at me, like a group of 6 guys, like some fat Mexican guy and a couple other, scrawny looking dude, and like 2 other people come at me. I have my sunglasses on. They call me Nuance Bro, first of all, because I don't know. Apparently they think I look like Nuance Bro. I know I got a little bit of a tan over the weekend.
I can see it.
Yeah, with the sunglasses. So they started harassing me immediately. Unfortunately, I didn't have my camera out because my camera guy hadn't gotten there at that point, and I just arrived. But they were harassing me, like telling me to get the fuck out. What are you doing here, Nuance Bro, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, dude, I was just laughing at him because first of all, I'm not Nuance Bro, but and then they're so like. They're LARPing. It's LARPing. It's real life. They're LARPing. They're role playing like tough guys in real life because they're not.
They thought I was InfoWars one time, and I'm like, I have an iPhone. I'm recording with an iPhone. I didn't have a microphone. I had nothing. I was InfoWars.
Hey, that's what Owen Schroyer had today. He just had a phone.
He had a phone, but he had a microphone. Oh, he just had a phone today.
Yeah, today he just had a phone. He didn't have his gear on or nothing. He just had a phone. And that was cool to see Owen there. He made the trip down, which is surprising. I wasn't expecting to see InfoWars. They also had another InfoWars reporter there. I forgot his name. He's one of their new guys that they're trying to bring on.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw when he was trying to leave Portland, they like had their car surrounded, like the InfoWars guys. Like
really?
Car was surrounded by. And you know what? They got bought. They were taunting him still, and I'm pretty sure whatever they did that car, it was a rental that they probably paid, to have the extra insurance on and everything.
Oh, of course.
But they were getting spit on. They were spitting at them. But it was just like it's kind of funny to see because he just keeps calling him the peaceful, tolerant. He's like peace and love,
You guys are
and they're all
so tolerant.
screaming. Yeah.
I
love the peace signs.
The funniest thing that I saw all day was Ben Bergquam was out there, and you guys may have known Ben Bergquam. He's like a pretty big Facebook conservative personality. He was out there, and man, he was just going to town on these guys the whole time, and he had a group of people from start to finish, like a group of anywhere between like 5 and 20 people following him around like a magnet the whole time, like sheep. You can see him. He's kind of like laughing, and he's saying, "Oh, watch him follow me," and then he'll walk around the park, and you just see this like line, a group of people following, chanting at him like "Nazi go home" or something like that. It was hilarious. You'll see it in the video when it comes out, or you can see it in the live stream too on YouTube. It's up right now.
I saw some of his stuff. He's interesting though because he's been beaten up by them.
Oh yeah.
He got attacked from behind, or I don't know what happened. I remember talking to him about it, and he said he got hit from behind from something. He didn't know what it was, and then some other guy jumped in and hit him. And then all hell broke loose between the right and the left.
He's got scars on his head from being hit, I think.
Yeah, he got hit pretty hard, I guess. But yeah, I mean, he has. But now that he's doing good, and he's just going after him, which makes sense. I mean, after I get hit in the fucking head by them guys, I guess I probably wouldn't let up either. But but yeah, it was
Probably
just
make you more pissed.
yeah. You just want to bury them more than they bury themselves already.
Right.
What's any other news down there? Anything out of the ordinary, or just?
I think I mentioned it, but so the counter protesters I mentioned at the beginning in Berkeley, the march that was coming in to like supplement, like as reinforcements, they got blocked by the police. They weren't allowed to go into the rally. So what they did is they ended up turning around, going around like 2 blocks north or east, and then trying to come back in from that way. They got blocked on that side too, and on that side they didn't want to move. They started burning trash cans in the middle of the street. We got footage of like this, giant trash can that was just burnt out in the middle of the street. All this trash that was burnt. We picked up a bunch of shells that they used on them, like the foam cannon, like 40 millimeter foam balls that they shoot at you. They got tear gassed again, more tear gas, smoke grenades that used on them, flashbangs, a lot of flashbangs. You'll hear all the explosions in the video. So they got flashbanged out and blown out at both events in Portland and Berkeley. They're they're the hornet's nests of Antifa and the socialist movements in America right now. Got completely just shredded by the police. So I think that in itself is a big change. The fact that the police are actually protecting the people who are rallying, because historically they have not. So that's the most significant change that we've seen in these 2 events.
I don't have much
Awesome.
about this type of thing. I wish I had the chance to go to something like this. I live on the East Coast. We don't see as many rallies, protests, etc. But I was wanting to come out to the West Coast, so hopefully I'll also be able to do that. Maybe we can attend a rally.
Yeah.
That would be
We have
awesome.
to.
I think I don't know how what November looks like for everybody, but I'm pretty damn sure November this year might get a little wild.
November? Yeah. Depending on the
I
results.
think November is going to get wild depending on results. I don't think actually it matters. I really don't think it matters what the results are. I think it's still going to happen no matter what. It's just like Trump said this week. He said reverse psychology. He wants to start using that. He says he's going to talk about not building a wall and that he's against a wall. So that way he can get the left to support and help fund a fucking wall. So I think that would be great.
Tara asked in chat if I've seen anyone from Berkeley that I saw a year ago, and that's also a good point. This is like my 1-year anniversary, because the first one I went to was in August of last year. But the answer is yes. So I saw the leader of the Revolutionary Communists, or I don't want to say the leader. He's not the leader, but he's like one of their ringleaders, Raphael, the bald white guy. He was there, and Yvette Falarco was there. What's
that guy's name? I don't know if he's gay or not. He used to be on the right, and now he's on the left. What do they call him? Cuck. What was his name?
What?
Cuck Slayer. The fuck?
Owen
You know what I'm
Schroyer
talking
is the
about?
Cuck Slayer.
No, not the Cuck Slayer. What was the guy's name?
Carl the Cuck?
They call him Cuck. No, they call him Cuck Slayer. But he was on the right, and then he went to the left.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I also funny story though.
He's always he has his nipples pierced. He's got like a white pride tattoo.
Oh,
but he's on the left.
Base Spartan.
Base Spartan, yeah, that guy. But they also call him Cuck something or some
Base
shit.
Spartan was in Portland, but he was not in Berkeley. So
he was in Portland.
He probably got hung over in Berkeley in the after party or something. But funny story also,
all right.
I saw some of the Sacramento Antifa, the guys that were in my Black Lives Matter video, like the stick man that was harassing me the whole time. Him and his crew were there. Him and his crew were in Berkeley, and the Brown Berets were there from Sacramento. The little Mexican kids that were harassing me in my Black Lives Matter video. So yes, I did see some other protesters, but not specifically.
Was it
from
the
Berkeley.
guys that we saw? The guys that we saw, Stickman, those guys?
Yeah, the ones that harassed us.
That is awesome. So
I tried
Stickman,
talking to him too. I talked to
Jack
him.
in the high ones.
I talked to him, and they didn't want to talk, obviously. And then they were like, "Oh, why don't you do events in Sacramento anymore?" I was like, "Dude, Sacramento's boring. There's no events here. If you do events, I'll come."
And then you went to the event the next day. Pretty well. It's past Sacramento, Berkeley. It's more towards San Francisco, I guess.
Right.
Um,
Yeah,
well, that's cool.
This is and one more interesting fact I want to know too. Somebody said Rufio in chat. Rufio was at the Portland. I tried interviewing him. I tried interviewing a few Proud Boys. They are just as suspicious of the media as the left are. So I tried asking him for an interview, and you can see it in the live stream. It's a little awkward. I go up to him and I'm like, "Hey man, can I pop a quick interview on you?" He's like, "Who are you with?" He did the "Who are you with?" The classic "Who are you with?" Right? Because
Yeah.
and you can't really blame the Proud Boys though for asking that, because they've been so trashed in the media lately, especially with the Nia Wilson murder in Berkeley or in Oakland here. They got blamed for that when they had nothing to do with it at all. And so yeah, and that's exactly why Gavin McInnes said the Proud Boys aren't going to be at the Berkeley event. That's why they couldn't go, because they were just going to get spun into something about, being Nazis or whatever. So the people on the right are...
Rufio's the big guy. The guy, well, not big guy, but the guy that knocked out the guy down in Texas. Is that who Rufio is?
No, he's the one who knocked out the guy in the last Portland event.
Oh, that was Portland still.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking Texas.
And he's like this tall, by the way. Everyone's shorter in real life. Tim Pool's like this tall. Rufio's like this tall. All these guys are small, except Ben Bergbaum. He's tall.
Is Owen Schroyer a little guy?
He is little. He looks he's buff. He's built. He's got some muscle on him, but he's a little guy.
It's like maybe 5'8", 5'9".
No, maybe a little bit taller than that, but he's definitely not 6 foot. So
yeah, anything below 6 foot is short.
I actually he interviewed me. So somewhere in Infowars' videos, there's a 1 minute interview of me on Infowars. So that's cool.
That's gonna be awesome. Yeah, what did you guys see, to not change the subject too much, but the attempted assassination on the president of Venezuela?
I didn't see that. I've been so busy moving around. I didn't see anything about that.
It's crazy. So there's a video. You can watch the video. It was out today. The president of Venezuela, I can't think of his name, but he's like giving a speech, and they got the Army or National Guard there, or whatever military they've got in Venezuela. He's giving a speech, and he hears this noise, something like flying over him. And some woman that's next to him is like kind of scared, and then he freaks out. And then you see all the army disperse. All these loud bangs were coming out of these drones. And they're blaming, guess who? You're not going to believe it, but they're blaming Donald Trump, saying he was part of this, and that he had attempted a strike on a Venezuelan president through drones.
Wait. When you say drone, are you talking like a military drone, or like a little
military
quadcopter
drone
that you can buy from Walmart?
They were saying they've made arrests.
Because the term drone is very loose.
Very broad. It's very loose, like Stormy Daniels. But it's it was a drone, is what they were saying in the news. And this is, when I read it, it was like developing, so things could have changed since then. And I did see that they did make some arrests, and they're trying to figure out if there's any connections to our One and Oval office.
Let's I got the video here. It's a 47-second video. I'm gonna pop this over the whole screen, and we can watch this. I don't know. You guys
watch.
You guys won't be able to hear it. Actually, I don't know how you guys will be able to see this, but yeah, we're gonna
hear something.
It's for the viewers. Hold on one second.
I'll be able to see it on Facebook if it works.
Yeah,
we're gonna go ahead.
I see it coming up on Facebook over here, but my computer screen.
Okay. I'm going to let's see what happens here.
Hold on, it's playing.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you don't even see anything. There's no...
No, you don't see nothing. How's the volume work, all right? I can't tell.
Yeah, but you're just hearing him talk. There's nothing.
Yeah, he hears something. She's freaking out. And then watch them all disperse. Watch this shit. Let's see here.
Hmm.
They just,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's frozen on your end. Is it playing?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, yeah. So they're all just going to start running.
Hmm.
That's when you know you got a strong military right there.
Were those their military?
Right there. It's the military. Yeah, that's supposed to be the military. That's Venezuela. That's socialism, baby.
They're not getting paid enough. They're just like, F
No.
this, I'm out of here.
I don't even have. I can't even know where to get bread.
See, here's the thing about the whole Trump thing, and I haven't read a single thing about this because, like I said, I've been traveling. But if it was a United States drone strike, that guy would have gotten the missile right on his forehead, right here. Like it wouldn't have missed.
Yeah, this was now. They're also blaming Colombia. Well, they're blaming the right. It seems like that's the thing to do nowadays. It's popular. So he's blaming. I guess there's a president in Colombia that's right wing. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with these shithole countries, but I guess they're a right wing president in Colombia. But yeah. So awesome. That was good. So we just watched the powerful military of Venezuela, really protective of the president.
What about that? What did you
I
say,
think everyone
Danielle?
was just standing in line to get water. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, speaking of socialism, I've been seeing a lot over social media and everything about how Democrats, everybody's saying Democrats going to vote socialist in the coming election.
Well, that
How do you guys-
Ocasio-Cortez chick is all over media. You know, that Ocasio-Cortez chick, that socialist that won in New York or whatever.
Oh, she's great. I'd love to have her on. She's dumb enough to come on too. We should probably reach out to her. I think we should. That should be our go-to. I think all of us should try to figure out a way to just email media advisor, everybody we can email to get her on. I wouldn't even tell her the name of the show because then they're gonna look in the pen. But or maybe she would come on. I don't know. She's not gonna be going on to. Ben Shapiro did do a funny skit on her this week though that I did see. Speaking because we always got to talk about Ben Shapiro one time or another in the show. He did a funny skit where he literally just listens to her while she's talking, and he just keeps shaking his head.
I don't even think that was Ben Shapiro that made that. I think somebody made that of Ben Shapiro as like
maybe somebody might have made
a spoof of that other fake interview, and then that same chick that made the original fake interview spoofed the fake interview of Ben Shapiro. She put herself over that one too, so it's like this 3-layer inception of fake interviews because they're trying to, the media was saying that this was a fake news. They tried to make this fake interview with this chick, and clearly everybody knows that it's satire. But they that's how disconnected they are from anything related to humor. They're so disconnected from that. They don't recognize that this chick does that, or that the right makes fun of people like that. They don't recognize humor when they see it. So
I love listening to her. I hope she is actually the Democratic nominee for president in 2020.
Well, I think the left actually wants Trump to win for 2020, because why else would they hire this racist writer for New York Times?
Oh yeah, that Asian girl.
Yeah. Why else would you? I mean, the alt-right and the racists, the actual racists, they love the fact that they hired this Asian racist, because they think that now everyone is going to see how obvious the anti-white racism is, that they're allowing this anti-white racist into the New York Times. It's acceptable to be anti-white, right? And then what better message could you get for your voter base than, look at what they're doing. They're making it okay to be anti-white. How bad do they want Donald Trump to be president in 2020? Jesus Christ, how much more could they push for his campaign?
I don't think
it's almost like I don't think the right needs to do anything. Go ahead, Danielle. What'd you say, Danielle?
I was saying he doesn't have any competition. I've heard a lot about Joe Biden in the upcoming election too, and it's like, no, I really think Trump's gonna be second-term president.
Here's another cool thing, though, is And what do you guys think of this? They were talking about it on all the major news networks, but I guess Obama is going to compete against Trump in a rally sense, I guess. He's going to be doing rallies for November midterms to amp up the Democratic Party, and he's also come out with a list of people who he stands by and supports. And here's the thing: I as much as I don't like Obama, I know he can probably get a good rally and probably build some strength on the left. They love him, and just like people on the right love Trump. But do you think? I think where the problem falls is that Trump can point to 4.1 GDP, strong economy, black unemployment, Hispanic unemployment all-time low.
Yep.
I think those things right there, someone who's an actual independent, if such a thing exists, isn't going to be persuaded by Obama because
the left isn't made up of too many independents. Let's be.
Well, there's a lot of independents on the left, like Angus King, who's in Maine. Bernie Sanders is independent.
As far as independent thinking, I mean.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, as far as if they're real people who really don't lean so far left or so far right, I think the people who are just leaning a little bit to the left, like this walk-away campaign, I think a lot of people are just it's not necessarily coming over to the Trump train, but just don't want anything to do with the Democratic Party anymore because it's just crazy. It's not necessarily that means that they're Trump supporters, this walk-away thing. I think a lot of people on the left are it's just, from wearing vagina hats to wearing bandanas over their face and throwing urine at people. And every time a black guy gets
people
killed,
or monkeys? I can't tell.
Guys. Yeah, it's just that's how they are. That's how they are on the left,
I call them monkeys. Now I'm racist.
Yeah, you're in trouble. Yeah, Roseanne.
Jeremy, I was not monkeys, funny.
I'm gonna have to start calling you Roseanne.
It's nice knowing you guys.
Right, you're about to be ripped apart by the internet. Goodbye, Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
But what was funny though? Did you guys watch this is kind of off topic. The Bruce Willis roast on Comedy Central.
No, didn't even know he was getting roasted. I don't have TV. I don't watch TV, so.
I don't watch TV either.
Okay, I don't watch TV either, guys, but it's funny. What is that? I can't see it. It's blurry. It's just glowing.
It's the Empathy Tent.
EmpathyTent.com.
EmpathyTent.com.
I was at the Empathy Tent, actually. That's in Berkeley.
Get some free empathy. I talked to the guy at the Empathy Tent today.
Tara says, did you guys hear about Hillary and Steven Spielberg working on a TV show about women's suffrage? I think she meant to say women's suffrage.
I hate that Hillary has reemerged. She needs to go back and regress back into the woods or wherever the hell she went after she lost the election.
That goes to what Trump or what Cut was talking about with Obama coming back. Those are the only two personalities that they have to go out and sell the Democratic Party now, right? Is Hillary and Obama, because nobody else has really risen within the party. So of course they have to stick around. That's all they have. So they're going to be selling, shilling out Obama, sending him all around. He doesn't want to do it. You kidding me? He doesn't want to do it. He just wants to go retire and play golf or jet ski or whatever it is. But that's all they have.
What was it? What were we talking about? Oh, Bernie. Little old Bernie was down in was he in Alabama with Cassio? Was it Alabama, Kentucky? He's some fucking southern Blumpkin state, and he was down there with Cassio Ortez, whatever chick, and she goes, "All right, yeah, we're down here. I'm with Bernie Sanders. It's great. We're going to go ahead. We're going to turn the seat red. We're going to flip it red this November." Yep. And then Bernie posts it on his Twitter and shit, and not even knowing how dumb, what she just said.
Yeah.
And, it was awesome. That was one of the funny. And that is not a spoof or anything. That's real.
Just straight up stupidity.
And then when she talked about Israel was even like when they did that spoof. Like,
Oh,
you know,
God.
I really am not a geography major, you know, or whatever, whatever her comment was.
Yeah.
But
Only her degree was in like foreign relations and economics. So
yeah, and she was a
wah, wah.
bartender, I think.
Well, I mean, that's
Yeah.
what happens when you get that degree. It's not really monetizable. What do you want to do? You're going to be like a Facebook poster about economic policies, or just complain about economics on your social media all day?
Become a socialist.
Yeah, that's
Become a socialist.
that's the path to becoming a socialist. You get a
Could have
crappy,
been flipped it red for communism.
you go to college, you choose a terrible degree program, and in the process of earning that terrible degree program, you get indoctrinated into Marxism. And when you get out, you have these seeds of Marxism in your head. And then when you fail because your degree sucks and you can't earn any money, you revert back to Marxism, and then you blame the system, and then you go out in the streets and you shave your head. That's it.
I feel like you
In a
pretty
nutshell.
much I feel like you just described me to a T, actually.
Yeah, you got one of those trashy liberal arts degrees, didn't you?
No, I got a. Hold on a second. Let me show you what I got. I got.
Y'all seen the wage gap video where they talk
Bachelor of
about
Arts in Media
women
Studies
who major in
Media studies. Oh.
with a focus in radio, because radio is
Radio.
a big thing now. Well, you know.
There's a wage gap video that's really popular on YouTube. I don't know if it's really popular. It's really popular with me. I liked it a
We're
lot.
still talking
But
about wage gap?
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, the feminists, it's a huge
gap.
issue that needs to be the gap that needs to be closed. Jeremy.
Is it a new video?
No, it's. I think you and I have actually talked about it, where they line up the different, the 5 top careers that men go into in college, and then the top 5 go into, and the top 5 that women go into is like psychology, elementary education. They're a low paying, not to say low paying, but a little bit low paying, less successful jobs. And then you got men going into like mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, mainly engineering
Computer
jobs.
science.
Yeah, and then it shows the percentage of male versus female in each career, and it's astonishing that you look at the difference of all these women in low-paying jobs or in these jobs, these career fields that are typically less successful, and they're bitching and moaning that they're not making as much as these others that have college and gotten engineering degrees and are busting their asses in different ways with more dangerous work, and it's different. Whatever.
It's pathetic.
But it's a really good video. I don't even know what to tell you guys to type into YouTube, but it's animated. It's got little sticks.
So it just pretty much just talks about the it just gives you data to back up
my sunburn.
The fact that there really is no wage gap. It's all just a myth.
You know what the funny
Is that
thing
pretty
about
much-
that is?
Do you think there is an actual wage gap? Like, okay, so they say there's a wage. So men are paid more than women. Is the thing? Not in this household, not my household. But
it's your own fault.
But do you think there is a wage gap? Do you think men get paid more than women, or women get paid more than men, or is it more of you can't really compare the two because they're two different things who do different jobs and have different outcomes.
You can
throughout their
compare them if you
careers?
control for all the variables, because there's 10 million variables. So,
Maternity
If you were
leave,
to, if you okay, so maternity leave. Okay,
low-paying jobs versus high-paying jobs, the career fields that they choose as men and women.
Well, more
Just
women are
taken
graduating
off
from
by
college
women.
than men by
Well,
like 5 to 1, I think.
Well,
Not
men
that
and women
bad, but it's
in the
bad.
workforce, women are more likely to take off sick days than men are. I mean, there are various variables, like Jeremy said. I mean, that's obviously a tiny, tiny factor in all of this. But if you want to compare the two and break it down and dissect it, we can talk wage gap bullshit if y'all like.
Yeah, no, they when you control for all the variables, women actually make more than men in their 20s and the early 30s. If they don't have any kids, they make more than men, and directly out of college, they make more than men as well. That's when you control for every variable possible through the studies that we have, and you got to realize again that these studies don't just pop up every other month. We can only go by the most recent data.
Let's go. I think we have to let's put on our left. Let's put on our leftist caps right now and see what let's think like a lefty.
Okay.
In the top 1%,
Can do that.
if you're in the top 1%, that means you make over $400,000 a year, is what
No,
they
it's 250,000.
say. 250. All right, I heard 400 last week. We'll go with a quarter mil. So if you make over $250,000 a year, you're in the top 1%. Is that more men or women, you think, that are in the top 1%?
Well,
I would say men.
I say men.
yeah, I would say men as well, but if you look at top earners, you have to correlate that a little bit with well, this is not my leftist cap though. That's my logical cap. Sorry.
You got to put your leftist cap on. What it is it's not fair, Jeremy, and there needs to be just as many successful women in the top 1%.
I'm trying to turn on emotion in my brain. It doesn't work. I'm not very emotional, so I'm trying to find.
It's just like in New Hampshire,
emotion.
just like the state of New Hampshire. They said in New Hampshire it's 93% white, crime's low, economy's good, taxes are low, education is high, test scores are high. One of the top education in the country is in New Hampshire. But they said it needs to change, and it needs to change fast. According to the New York Times, they need to be more accepting, and they need to be more multicultural,
More diverse.
and more diverse. And there should be more people of color, I guess you would say. No more white people. Too many white people in New Hampshire. This is according to the New York Times. It needs to stop. And it's not the American way. It needs to change.
Need more
And
equality.
the top 1% need more equality. And the top 1%, we need more women. And then we can go into gays and transsexuals. Now, how many transsexuals do you think are in the top 1%?
Caitlyn Jenner.
That she definitely is in the 1%. It's good. Well, they're what, like half? They represent half of 1% of the actual population at large. So if you take 1% of half of 1%, what is that? 0.005%. So not even one. Statistically, not even one. If there's like 1,000 people, if there's 1,000 people in the upper 1%, statistically there would be like not even one. There'd be half of one. And if it's the boy half or the girl half, I don't know.
Well, there needs to be more of them. There needs to be more of them.
That's equality of outcome doctrine. Okay, that's the bad type of equality.
Here's another question for you. Now, education, since we're on the topic education a little bit ago, at least talking about New Hampshire's education and how it's racist. What about them teaching drag to elementary school kids? Because you do want your kid to know everything there is out there in the world and all kinds of shit. There's weird, there's good, there's evil, there's everything out there, and you want them to learn about it. Do you think you should be teaching kids about homosexuality and drag and cross-dressing?
That is
in public school systems.
Pretty blatantly politically driven. If I could excuse it if we were also being taught like what a credit score is and how to do a job interview and all these other things that are actually useful. And then if we got finished with all the things that are actually useful, and then we said, okay, well, there's a 0.1% chance that you're going to interact with a cross-dresser in your life, so we may as well teach you that too. Then I could say, okay, fine. But the fact that we don't even teach kids the basics, but then we're wasting our time teaching them how to cross-dress.
So how to set a budget, how to balance a budget, and how to build your credit and FICO score should come over the chance of one seeing a transsexual in their life
and knowing how to react properly to that.
And education. How to react properly to that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, maybe I'm misinterpreting the purpose of education, but when I think of education, I think of like increasing your functionality in the world that you live in. But I don't know. Maybe they have a different definition of education.
I would agree. They weren't teaching about dressing up as Peter Pan with a wig on when I was in school. but they also weren't teaching on how to balance a budget or anything about
No.
credit. We had the closest thing I had to that was a class called career planning, and supposedly I was going to be a lawyer when I grew up. Um, wow, I fell off that fucking. um,
It's never too late.
wow, yeah, it's never too late. Never give up on your nightmares. Um, but yeah, I was just
Lawyer.
like, it's just crazy the whole the things that they want to teach in schools now that you're seeing, and you also see like the media plays it into it, and you see it on Facebook. Everyone's sharing and talking about the drag guy or girl or whatever the hell you want to call it, talking to these little kids about Drag Day, International Drag Day or something, or
Well, here's the
National
flip
Drag
side
Day.
to that, though, too. At the same time, I would say that I don't want religion being taught in the school either. I don't want you to teach the creation story in science class. So that's me trying to put on my objective hat. I don't want that either. Well, I'm gonna be clear. I want just science, straight science, nothing that is like an optional belief in one thing or another, or something that's obviously politically driven. So maybe cut if I disagree with that, because I know you're religious, but.
No, I'm not religious. I have a relationship.
Oh, that's
with
right,
Christ.
right, that's
talk,
right. Yeah,
talk
that's
to you about this. I
Yeah.
talked to you about the very different, very different. But what was I gonna say? Where are we going with the whole
teaching
drag and
teaching
teaching?
religion in schools.
Well, I don't. As far as teaching
gotta be
religion in
objective
schools,
about it.
I think unless it's a Catholic, unless you're paying for your kid or your kid's going to a Catholic school or whatever, I think anybody can do whatever they want as far as whether it's Christianity or Judaism or even Islam, as long as everyone's peaceful, which is never going to happen, and are not disturbing anybody, or atheism, whatever they want to practice, just practice it as long as you're not hurting anybody else. But that goes back to my libertarian ideology.
If I had
don't.
kids, they'd be going to private school.
Well, it's always easy to say. Also, it depends kind of where you're at. If I was in California, yes, if I had kids, they would probably go to private.
Yeah.
Private school teachers, a lot of private school teachers religion, Jeremy.
Oh yeah, but you get to
A lot of
pick.
private
You get to
schools.
choose what you're letting your kid be pumped full of. You know what I mean? At least you have some choice
Yeah.
in the outcome of what
If
they're
you
going
just
to be indoctrinated
look-
with.
But in a private school, not necessarily just because they are religious or anything like that doesn't mean they're. I mean, in public school, they're got
I'm just going
religious
to give my kid an
teachers.
iPad and put Google as a
Just
homepage
give
and
them
then let
an
him
iPad,
learn.
Google.
And iPad and Google, that's all you need. No, nobody uses anything. Nobody knows anything anyway. If you don't know something, you just pull out your phone and you just Google it, right? Google. So
Like the average 10-year-old you see in a restaurant is holding an iPad.
Well, if you Google
Yeah.
idiot, Donald Trump comes up. It's the first thing that comes
of
up.
course.
It's the first thing that comes up. I'm gonna prove that actually. You know that? Did you guys see that?
What?
If
Idiot.
you Google idiot, this is what comes up.
You can thank Reddit for that, by the way.
And then you go to images and it's all over the place. So you can't.
I think that's funny.
But you also get Kathy Griffin, which is nice. At least you get Kathy Griffin in there somewhere when you scroll down a little bit.
I wouldn't call her an
You know
idiot.
what's
I
also
would just
funny
think
is
she's
Elizabeth
insane.
Warren is running against an actual Indian. How about
is
that?
funny. That
How
is
about-
funny.
How about that?
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see how that turns out.
I wouldn't be surprised if that how about that chick, what's her name, Christine Bergoli or whatever, if she ends up running for office, or LeBron James. LeBron James was on Don Lemon talking about running for office. I was
Oh
like,
man,
what the
Don
fuck?
Lemon, the
At
dumbest
least,
the man on TV, according to
sorry.
Trump.
oh well, I think
You see
he's.
that
I
tweet?
think yeah, and I like Mike. Yeah, but
Yeah,
then
yeah.
Jordan came out and said he supports but he didn't say didn't support Trump. But of course, CNN reported it as that.
Right.
But maybe he does hate Trump. Who gives a shit with Michael Jordan? LeBron?
Yeah.
Possibly.
They love capitalism, I can tell you that much.
They do. They wouldn't be selling all them damn shoes. Republicans need shoes too.
That's right.
You know. Well, anything else, guys? What's any other topics? Anything, Danielle, in your neck of the woods, or
I know Danielle said she had to leave soon. She's on a tight schedule today.
I'm in my family's home and I'm supposed to be quiet. I was already scolded about this prior to recording.
I think my new neighbor was knocking on the wall too. I had to talk to him about that.
Yeah, that was pretty loud.
Yeah, did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard him.
What the
Yeah, I heard him knocking. I thought there was somebody hammering on
Just
something.
come over and knock like a human being. Jesus. Anyway, I'm gonna have.
Dog's name's Boy. For those who are wondering in the comments.
Saw a clip where a little girl said, "I want to be a superhero." Why does my fucking phone suck? I want to be a superhero. And the drag queen said to her,
Yeah.
"Yeah, you can be a drag queen superhero. Used to be a permission slip would be sent home for a signature." I don't know what the fuck's going on. My daughter has an online business and sent out 200 messages. She was put in Facebook jail. Facebook jail.
Welcome to Facebook jail.
Mm-hmm. A lot of weird stuff. Depends on who you're bunked with.
Jeremy.
Yeah, you might be right, Tara. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go talk to him. It's like,
How's
hey, just
Facebook?
text me.
How did you, Jeremy?
What? What about Facebook?
In a Facebook jail?
I'm not. No, this chick's
You
daughter
have
is though.
to. I'm saying.
No, I haven't. I've never been in Facebook jail actually. I've been in YouTube jail.
I've been.
That's where you've been in jail.
No,
YouTube.
I wasn't even. I mean, that's not even jail. That's prison. I was in YouTube prison for 90 days. That's not a jail stay. That's prison. Jail's
Well,
like
Facebook, you can
jail's
get
like 2 days.
You can get a harsh sentence on Facebook. They can just shut down your page. I have
Right.
a lot of guys.
Yeah, just
a
summary
lot of guys'
execution.
pages. A lot of guys got pages shut down that weren't even in Facebook jail. Just got shut down. I know George Gallows, comedian, he lost everything. He had 95,000 subscribers, followers, or whatever.
Mhm.
Lost them all, and he was a comedian that supported Trump, but he was never anything like derogatory. Didn't really curse at all, and they shut down his whole fucking page. So
Tara brings up a good point. Tommy Robinson got out. Did you guys hear about that?
I saw that. Yeah, Tommy Robinson. I watched his interview on Tucker.
He basically got starved nearly to death in there, and then sent to, they transferred him to a prison that had the highest Muslim population in the country, and specifically to say that, it's too dangerous to put him in general population, so we're gonna send him to solitary confinement. So he was in solitary confinement with the windows shut out. He had no contact with anybody, and when
he was getting spit on.
Yeah,
all his windows were getting spit on and everything, throwing feces and all that shit. And they're all Muslim. But the weird thing about the Tommy Robinson thing, except for everything there is to know about it, is what were the charges? Which he still says he really doesn't know what the charges were. And as far as a fair trial, I don't know what happened with that. And why did they release him? Why did they release him?
Because the case went to one of the big judges the biggest judge in the country, and he basically said the whole thing was BS, and he was treated wrong, and he shouldn't have been thrown in jail in the first place. So it did.
So what's going to happen to him?
I don't know. I don't know exactly. He's got to go to court again or something like that. But the charges.
He should be getting paid a handsome salary for all that, or some money for all that.
Something for that, yeah.
Or he's going to be roommates with Julian Assange pretty soon.
Yeah, could be.
Just hanging out in one of those places. I guess Assange, there's something in the news with him lately too. I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah, Ecuador might kick him out or something. Or there's new leadership in Ecuador. So, and the new leadership guy is not so kind and friendly with the fact that they're keeping him in asylum in their embassy. So he might get kicked out.
Maybe he'll be rooming with Snowden in Russia. Who knows?
Could be. We'll find out.
Who knows?
Stay tuned.
That's Assange. I still say Julian Assange is probably one of the most powerful figures in the world. Would you guys agree with that?
Maybe not anymore, but yeah, in the past couple of years, he definitely has been.
Yeah.
He's bigger. He's bigger than Tommy Robinson. Can't hold his jockstrap compared to what Julian Assange did.
Oh yeah.
The shit that he did.
Sure.
Tommy Robinson's pretty cool though, because he kind of falls in kind of an extremer version of kind of what we do, by going out there. And he's kind of like Linda Loomer. Is that her name? Linda Loomer?
Laura Loomer.
Laura Loomer. He's kind of like her. She's ballsy too. She's fucking.
I haven't seen a lot.
She'd
of
be
her
great
stuff.
to have on. She's really good. You gotta watch some of her stuff, man. She is fucking no holds barred. But I mean, from going to Mandalay Bay for the shooting stuff, she went up to Hillary at a book signing. She called out Comey in front of his face. There's so much.
That was that chick. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, she's the real deal, and so she's kind of like I guess, and she's a Jew, so she's
Oh.
yeah. So that kind of that's well, I didn't know until I saw like kind of looking at her stuff, but she's not that popular. She doesn't have like a huge following, which is weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's definitely being censored though.
Getting deep stated out.
Yeah, she's getting censored hard. So
well, when you're pulling that kind of stuff, it's kind of hard not to gain the attention of the wrong people.
And other news, Anthony Bourdain supposedly talked some shit about the Clintons a week before committing suicide.
Yeah, I heard about
this
that.
Is true. This is
Yeah.
true. As well as Joan Rivers calling Michelle Obama a tranny.
Right.
About a week or two before she died.
I mean, coincidence, I think, but a funny coincidence.
It's turning the frogs gay. All right, well, that's all I got.
Yeah. I think that should wrap it up.
Yeah, InfoWars must get tired of hearing that. It's either the Sandy Hook thing, people attack them for, or the turning the frogs gay.
I heard a new one today. I interviewed a guy from Russia. He says that Breitbart and InfoWars take money from Putin. So I'm going to have to look into that one. I was going to ask Owen Schroyer at the event, but I lost him. That was kind of late in the event. I couldn't find him. I was going to ask him, hey, Owen, are you taking money
if
from
anyone
Russians?
does or doesn't, yeah. That's kind of, you know what, that's kind of an interesting thing for them to say.
They don't give him
if
too much money
like
because he was recording on his cell phone. So I don't know. Putin might be, his pockets are a little shallow right now or something.
Oh, I'm sure Owen Schroyer's living the dream.
Yeah. He's getting flown around everywhere, that's for sure.
I'm sure he's making some money. He started off as a sports guy.
Selling those brain pills, man. Brain force.
No, but he was he was like a sports broadcaster.
Yep.
Fucking
strange
times. I guess anybody can be something one day and something totally different the
next. You can still be a lawyer. Cut is what that means.
I could still be a lawyer. I could be a lizard man, a chick, whatever I want to be.
You can literally be anything. Welcome to America. Isn't it great?
It's the land of the free and opportunity. And
all right.
Cool.
I'm going to be editing my video footage from the weekend over the next week. It's going to take me forever. I'm actually going to make a mini documentary out of it. So if you guys are waiting to see some footage, it's going to be a little bit. For now, the live streams will have to suffice. And that's all I got. You guys got anything to close?
That's it. We'll share your stuff here if you're putting it on Weekly Narrative on YouTube or Facebook. But we'll share it here, and also anything with any of that other footage we did out here in Reno. Any news on that?
Yeah, I think that'll be making an appearance soon.
Cool. We'll we could throw it all out there and see what sticks. And there's some funny shit from some of that. I might need to do the PSA, our drug commercial.
Oh yeah.
If you want me to narrate it, I can always narrate it if you want me to.
Yeah, the drug one's gonna be good. We'll talk about that.
All right.
All right, guys.
Cool.
We'll see you next week. Peace
Bye.
out.